session agenda is the perfect playbook to embrace digital for seamless customer experience. Now, that is a pain point that many of the people saw as they transition to a much more mature e-commerce entity, and they want to attain that level of becoming a pure digital, I'll say, organization, and how to start selling, and how to like make their customer experience seamless. In this very session, we will uncover the truth on how to embrace digital from basically team perspectives. And obviously, in favor of the audience poll who were requesting us to speak in English, I'll speak in those in that same tongue. So इस सेशन में हम will uncover the truth कि हम लोग कैसे डिजिटल को embrace करें. Basically, तीन paradigms पे. Number one is the browsing. Number two is purchasing, and number three being the post-purchase experience. In this session, we have four of our very best partners to address these very pain points. Number one, we have Santosh Valecha from Netcore. We have Mr. Kumar Bembu, the CEO of GoFrugal. We have Krishant, one of our very dearest acquaintance from Freshworks, and Zaiba, the co-founder of iThink Logistics. So we have a cluster of people from either from browsing like Netcore to purchasing like GoFrugal, and I'd say iThink Logistics, and finally to I'd say the post-purchase experience of Freshworks. So I'm very glad that you guys are here. Hi guys, Santosh, Zaiba, Krishant.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Nice to meet you.
Good afternoon.
It is almost certainly nice to see your faces along with the voices as well. I suppose you work from home, this is the scene that we're seeing, this trend that we've evolved up to as of now. तो मैं इस पूरे सेशन का थोड़ा पैटर्न ऑडियंस को भी बता देता हूँ. हम लोग इस वाले सेशन का फॉर्मेट थोड़ा सा अलग है इन टर्म्स ऑफ पीपीटी. सो इसमें हम लोग थोड़ा और ब्रीफ होंगे, थोड़ा और ज़्यादा डीप डाइव करेंगे इन प्रॉब्लम्स को एड्रेस करते हुए. इसीलिए संतोष, जाइबा, कृषांत और कुमार आप सभी अपनी अपनी कैपेबिलिटीज पहले बताएंगे. हम लोग बहुत एक्यूटली एड्रेस करेंगे कौन कौन से पेन पॉइंट्स हैं अपने अपने पर्सपेक्टिव से, अपने अपने डोमेन एक्सपर्टीज से, एंड देन विल टेक अप दोज वेरी क्वेश्चंस. ऑडियंस की तरफ से हम लोग सीधे क्वेश्चंस लेंगे और I'm glad for it. So the pattern that we'll be following is Santosh first, and then followed by Zaiba, and then Kumar, and then Krishant. So Santosh, if we all could get some kind of acquaintance for you, and then from Kumar, Zaiba, and Krishant, that would be awesome.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm excited to be in the same group as these lovely people with me. Kumar, Krishant, Zaiba, thank you for having me over. I think we're going to have a good chat during this conversation. Anubhav, हम हिंदी करेंगे ज़्यादा कि इंग्लिश ज़्यादा करेंगे? What was the point?
We'll advise Hindi and English both. So that it's much more like legitimate to all of our audience from Pan India.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. My name is Santosh Valecha. I'm from Netcore. Netcore 23 साल पुरानी कंपनी है. हम अभी भी एक स्टार्टअप की तरह काम करते हैं. Main focus is we started off as an email expert. We grew into mobility. SMS का भी बहुत सारा काम करते हैं, email का ज़्यादा काम करते हैं. और अब अगर देखें तो पिछले 7 से 8 साल में हमने कस्टमर एक्सपीरियंस को इम्पोर्टेंस ज़्यादा दी है. अगर आप सुने भी पिछले 4 स्पीकर जो बात कर रहे थे कि हाउ डू यू एक्वायर बेटर, वेयर डू यू स्पेंड योर मनी, नाउ वी टॉकिंग अबाउट हाउ डू यू मैक्सिमाइज दैट स्पेंड. एक बार आपने खर्चा कर दिया, एक्वायर कर लिया, तो उसके साथ और कैसे एंगेज करना है, क्या क्या तरीके हैं आपकी ई कॉमर्स स्ट्रेटेजी आगे बढ़ाने के लिए. आई थिंक उसी के अंदाज में उसी के साथ हम काम करेंगे और बात करेंगे अगले आधे घंटे के लिए.
डेफिनेटली. ज़ाइबा, इफ यू कुड, अगर आप थोड़ा सा अपने बारे में बता दोगे हमारी ऑडियंस को.
Sure. So good afternoon to the people who had their lunch, and a very special good afternoon to the people who delayed the lunch for this session. So myself, Zaiba Sarang, co-founder of iThink Logistics. We are an AI-based multi-carrier shipping platform. It's a simple tool to manage and automate all your e-commerce shipping needs. Like काफी from morning sessions जो चल रहे हैं, most of the D2C brands are facing, उनको challenges यही हो रहा है कि वो अपने customers को and consumer को, buyer को shipments से related या shipments किस तरीके से deliver करवाएं. तो इसीलिए हमने हमारा एक प्रोडक्ट बनाया है iThink Logistics, जो आपको from starting like getting a best logistic partner सिलेक्शन से लेकर हम आपका पिकअप भी मैनेज करते हैं, अगर पिकअप से रिलेटेड कुछ इशू हो रहा है तो। एंड में जब कस्टमर को शिपमेंट डिलीवरी के वक्त कोई चैलेंजेस हो रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ देयर लोकेशन कंस्ट्रेंट, पिन कोड सर्विसिबिलिटी से रिलेटेड, या फार एरिया है इंडिया का जहाँ पर पिन कोड सर्विसिबिलिटी का इशू हो जाता है, या लॉजिस्टिक पार्टनर्स का कुछ कंस्ट्रेंट होता है, तो हमने हमारे टूल को इस तरीके से इंटेलिजेंट बनाया है कि आपको सबसे पहले हम बेस्ट पार्टनर सिलेक्ट करवाते हैं, उसके साथ हम आपकी पूरी जर्नी में आपके साथ होते हैं। बिकॉज वी नो लॉजिस्टिक एक्सपीरियंस जो एक बायर के लिए होना चाहिए वो हमारे एंड से शुरू होता है, इसीलिए हम एक D2C ब्रांड के साथ उनकी एक टीम की तरह काम करते हैं, मिलके एक प्रॉब्लम को सोल्यूशन तक पहुंचाते हैं। So that's what I think logistic is all about. Currently we does around 25,000 shipments across India and we have 5,000 plus sellers जो आज I think logistic का प्लेटफॉर्म यूज कर रहे हैं। एंड डेफिनेटली आई विल बी मोर टॉकिंग ऑन हमने किस तरीके से कस्टमर एक्सपीरियंस को अचीव किया, बिकॉज यू विल बी सीइंग वी डोंट स्पेंड टू मच ऑन मार्केटिंग, वी हैव नॉट येट स्पेंड टू मच ऑन मार्केटिंग, इट्स जस्ट वर्ड ऑफ माउथ और कस्टमर रेफरल से ही हमारे बिजनेस को इतना ग्रोथ और अचीवमेंट मिला है। So I hope my session will be definitely helpful to all the D2C brands and others to achieve the growth in their journey.
Most definitely is, Zaiba. I think though is small, but pretty much packs a good punch.
Yeah.
Chris,
Thank you.
Kumar, on to you. If you could get a little bit brief about you from the audience, for the audience.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks to the Unicommerce team for organizing such a wonderful event. And it is very much the need of the hour now. And I am the founder and the CEO of GoFrugal Technologies, and GoFrugal was founded in the year 2004. We want to help retailers basically run their business, with minimum skills, people with minimum skills and the least staff. So how can they have least number of staff and with accuracy in whatever business they do, right? So those are our simple promises to all the businesses. And we also have digital transformation solutions. So I'll definitely be talking about it when my turn comes. And GoFrugal has been 16 years old, and we have 30,000 plus customers in all formats of retail, whether it is a single store or a store with national presence. We can provide a complete solution from store operations, back office, and head office management, warehouse management, consumer ordering, and all aspects of retail. Thank you, and look forward to the session.
Thanks, Kumar. Now on to Krishant. Krishant, अगर आप थोड़ा सा बता देंगे अपने बारे में ऑडियंस के लिए.
Hi everyone, I'm Krishant. I lead the ISV partnerships team at Freshworks. Freshworks, like few of you might already know, we are into the customer support and experience space. So right from ticketing to chatbots to live chat, we provide all these solutions. Most of the brands, generally D2C e-commerce, based on my conversations with few of the customers, support comes last in their mind, but nevertheless, that's something important to keep in mind as well. Right? So that's something that I'll be talking in the session later. Thank you, Unicommerce team, for having me in this panel, and all the other panelists as well. Looking forward to the session.
For sure, likewise, Krishant. So moving on, let's follow the order of first Santosh presenting, and then moving on to Kumar, and then to Zaiba, and then to Krishant with their respective PPTs, and then we'll be opening up questions live from the audience.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, super. So I think एक बड़ा पर्सपेक्टिव दिखाना चाहूँगा कि आज हम बिजनेस ई-कॉमर्स की एरिया में ले आते हैं, तो मैक्सिमम टाइम goes into acquisition. If you look at this entire ladder, the teams before me also spoke about where you need to spend your money, how do you need to ensure that you're reaching more digital presence, spend on YouTube, spend on Google, but what are you spending for? आप सबसे ज़्यादा खर्चा कर रहे हैं पहले तो कस्टमर एक्वायर करने के लिए, जहाँ पे आप पूरी इंटेंस साइकिल फॉलो करते हैं कि जहाँ पे उन्होंने डिसीजन लिया कि मुझे आपका प्रोडक्ट लेना है कि नहीं लेना है, और एंड देन उसके आगे क्या करना चाहिए। दूसरा काम आप करते हैं कि आप उनके साथ कैसे बेहतर टच में रहते हैं, आप उनसे कितना बात करते हैं। एक बार उन्होंने खरीदी कर दी तो यह काफ़ी है, या उसके बाद भी आपको बहुत सारी चीज़ें उनको बतानी है आपके प्रोडक्ट लाइन के बारे में। फिर कुछ कस्टमर ऐसे भी होते हैं कि जो प्रोस्पेक्ट स्टेज में ही बैठे रहते हैं, पर आपको उनके साथ बात करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। और बहुत बार ऐसा सिचुएशन आएगा आपके लाइफ साइकिल में कि आप रीएक्विजिशन पे ज्यादा फोकस करेंगे। आज की तारीख में अगर आप देखेंगे कि हम बहुत सारा पैसा नए एक्विजिशन में डालते हैं और रीएक्विजिशन को बाद में देखते हैं, क्योंकि व्हेन द ब्रिज कम्स वी विल क्रॉस। बट मैं कह रहा हूँ कि आपको ये चीजें अभी ध्यान में रखनी है। एक इंपॉर्टेंट एनेक्डोट कि आज की तारीख में जब आप देखते हैं कि मार्केटर पैसे कहाँ लगा रहे हैं, आज की तारीख में 20 बिलियन के करीब ईमेल हर महीने मार्केटर भेज रहे हैं इंडिया में। करीबन 3 बिलियन एसएमएस जाते हैं, चाहे वो ट्रांजैक्शनल हो या प्रमोशन हो। तो आपको ये इंश्योर करना है कि आपकी ओटीपी ट्रांजैक्शनल मैसेजेस ढंग से जा रहे हैं कि नहीं, कस्टमर के ट्रांजैक्शन पूरी हो रही है कि नहीं, उस पर ध्यान देना है। आपकी वेब मैसेजेस, ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज होगी आपके लिए आज की तारीख में, क्योंकि अगर आप एक D2C ब्रांड है और आप एक नया इकोसिस्टम तैयार कर रहे हैं, तो जितने भी विजिटर्स आ रहे हैं वो सबसे पहला चेंज है। जो पहले वॉक इन हुआ करता था वो अभी स्टोर विजिट हो गया है, आपके ऑनलाइन विजिटर्स हैं, तो आप उनके साथ कैसे बात कर रहे हैं। आपका ज्यादातर कॉमर्स शायद M-कॉमर्स पे हो रहा होगा, मोबाइल पे हो रहा होगा, तो नोटिफिकेशन कैसे जाने हैं। आज की तारीख में देखिए 70 बिलियन से ज्यादा नोटिफिकेशन भेजे जा रहे हैं, आप और हम खुद रिसीव करते हैं। तो ये आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी में आना बहुत जरूरी है। सिंपल फोकस, अगर आप देखना चाहें कि हमारे ई-कॉमर्स बिजनेस को क्या आसानी से धंधा ला पाएगा, वो है अटेंशन। हम अपने कस्टमर के ऊपर कितना अटेंशन दे रहे हैं और उनके बारे में जानने के लिए कितना अटेंशन दे रहे हैं। क्या आप उसके बारे में जानते हैं? क्या उनका डेटा एनरिच हो रहा है? क्या आपके पास उनका ईमेल आईडी है? क्या आपके पास सिर्फ मोबाइल नंबर है? क्या आपको पता है कि उनको पसंद क्या है? फेसबुक पे कौन सा ऐड देखा है और आप प्रोडक्ट लैंडिंग पेज पे जा रहे हैं कि नहीं जा रहे? ये एक बहुत अच्छी लर्निंग थी आपके प्रीवियस सेशन में। दूसरी चीज हम बात करें कि आप कंटेंट क्या यूज कर रहे हैं, आप कितना दिखा रहे हैं, हाउ रेलेवेंट आर यू टू दैट पर्सन हु इज कमिंग टू योर वेबसाइट, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। तीसरी चीज पे ध्यान दीजिए कि आप कितने चैनल्स यूज कर रहे हैं उनसे बात करने के लिए। क्या आप सही अपॉर्चुनिटी लेके सही जगह उनसे बात कर रहे हैं? क्या आप उनको सही जगह ले जा रहे हैं जहाँ पे आपकी ट्रांजैक्शन पूरी हो सके? और फिर कितनी बार आप उनसे बात कर रहे हैं। एक सिंपल स्ट्रैटेजी होती है कि मेरे कस्टमर की आइडियल नज स्ट्रैटेजी क्या होती है, कि क्या इसको 3 बार बोलने के बाद ये काम करता है, कि इसको 5 बार बताओ लगातार तो ही जाके एक्शन लेता है, या एक बार में ही कर देता है। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके डेटाबेस में ये जानकारी पाना, तो प्लीज इसको नोट करके रखिए। अब सिंपल एग्जांपल देखते हैं कि आपके वेबसाइट पे जितने भी विजिटर आ रहे हैं आप उनके साथ कैसे एंगेज कर रहे हैं। सो माय एडवाइस टू द टीम वुड बी दैट इफ यू आर अ न्यू D2C ब्रांड, देन यू हैव टू फोकस अ लॉट ऑन द रिटर्निंग यूजर। आप वेब मैसेजेस उसको कैसे दिखा रहे हैं, आप अपना डेटा एनरिचमेंट कैसे प्लान कर रहे हैं, आप उनके साथ रजिस्ट्रेशन कैसे ड्राइव कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि आप उसके बारे में जितनी जानकारी जानेंगे उतना आपके बिजनेस के लिए अच्छा है। इफ यू आर अ स्टार्टअप, इफ यू ऑलरेडी है मैच्योर्ड स्टेट, आप ऑलरेडी एंटरप्राइज हैं, तो आपको भी पता है कि ये जानकारी आप ऑलरेडी कर रहे हैं, आप इसको ऑप्टिमाइज कैसे कर सकते हैं, आप इसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं, आप इसकी कंटेंट रेलेवेंस कैसे पैदा कर सकते हैं, ये आपको सोच के रखनी है। दूसरी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज, डेटा एनरिचमेंट क्यों जरूरी है? क्योंकि गूगल अपनी पॉलिसीज बदल रहा है। आज नहीं तो 2 साल के अंदर उनकी जो कुकी पॉलिसी है वो बदल जाएगी, आप उनको ट्रैक ढंग से नहीं कर पाएंगे। देयरफॉर आज से ही अगर आप शुरुआत करेंगे अगले 2 साल तक की, आप अपना प्राइमरी डेटा पॉइंट चेंज करें एंड इंश्योर करें कि आपके पास डेटा एनरिचमेंट पॉलिसी में ज्यादा से ज्यादा जानकारी है, चाहे वो ईमेल हो, मोबाइल नंबर हो, क्योंकि इसी की मदद से आप आगे जाके पर्सनलाइज कर पाएंगे, कंटेंट पर्सनलाइजेशन कर पाएंगे, रेलेवेंस पैदा कर पाएंगे उनके लिए। तीसरी चीज ध्यान में रखिए, अगर कोई बंदा आपकी वेबसाइट पे आ रहा है और अगर आप स्टार्टअप हैं आज की तारीख में, तो आपको ये जानना जरूरी है कि उनको वापस कैसे ले आए। तो आप पहली स्लाइड फॉलो करेंगे, वेब मैसेज, वेब पुश इस्तेमाल करेंगे उनको वापस आपकी वेबसाइट पे ले आने के लिए सही टाइम पे। और एक बार बंदा आपकी वेबसाइट पे आ गया तो आप उसके साथ पर्सनलाइजेशन कैसे कर सकते हैं, आप उनको कहाँ से कहाँ ले जाते हैं, वो बहुत जरूरी है। आप होम पेज बैनर पर लाना चाहते हैं तो आप उसको पर्सनलाइज कर सकते हैं। अगर उसने फेसबुक पे कोई ऐड देखी है, उसी का हुरूबरू बैनर आप वेबसाइट पे कैसे देख सकते हैं। आप उनका कॉल टू एक्शन कैसे पर्सनलाइज कर सकते हैं, आप बैकग्राउंड का कंटेंट पर्सनलाइज कर सकते हैं। आप सारी चीजें किस समय, क्या आप उसको गुड मॉर्निंग मैसेज देना चाहते हैं, गुड आफ्टरनून कहना चाहते हैं, गुड इवनिंग कहना चाहते हैं। अगर आप ट्रैवल बिजनेस में हैं तो आपकी लोकेशन को ध्यान में रखते हुए आप कैसे बात कर सकते हैं उसके लिए। अगर उन्होंने लास्ट सर्च ताजमहल किया है तो क्या आप उसको दिल्ली के बारे में और कितना बता सकते हैं, आगरा के बारे में कितना बता सकते हैं। ये आपको बहुत मदद करेगा। एक्विजिशन स्ट्रेटेजी में पर्सनलाइजेशन बहुत ही जरूरी है, ये आप जरूर ध्यान में रखें। और फिर ये एक अलग दुनिया है, हम सब नज इकोनॉमी से पैदा हुए, कहीं ना कहीं हमें कोई अगर सही दिशा दिखाता है, कोई डायरेक्शन देता है तो हमारा काम और आसान हो जाता है। आपने जब अच्छे टाइम पे मॉल जाते थे तो आपने देखा होगा कि कोई बंदा अगर आपको अपनी दुकान पे ले जाना चाहता है तो आपको डायरेक्शन देता है। ये हम बहुत एक्साइट होते थे देख के। और ये आज की तारीख में बिजनेस में भी हो रहा है। हम इतनी सारी चीजें डेवलप करते हैं। आप अगर वेबसाइट देखते हैं तो शुरू में आप सिर्फ 5 चीजें दिखाएंगे, बट इवेंचुअली आपकी प्रोडक्ट लाइन बढ़ती है, आपका काम बड़ा होता है, तो आप और फीचर्स इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं। अब वो फीचर्स को बंदे को कैसे दिखाएं, हाउ डू यू गेट हिम क्लोजर टू व्हाट यू रियली वांट हिम टू सी। आप उसकी सेगमेंट्स कैसे बना सकते हैं, आप उसको आसान कैसे बना सकते हैं, ये सारी प्लेटफॉर्म्स हम आपको दिखा सकते हैं कि जिससे आप ये काम आसान करेंगे। अब ये सिंपल देखिए, ये एक ऐप है, काम करके ऐप है, जिनको अपने रिटेंशन टेक्निक बढ़ाना था, अपने ऐप यूजर्स को इम्प्रूव करना था कि जो मेरे वेब ऐप पे आते हैं उनको मैं रिटेन कैसे करूं, उनका सेशन टाइम कैसे इम्प्रूव करूं। सेशन टाइम माने अगर कोई बंदा मेरे ऐप पे आया है तो मैं उसके साथ कैसे रुक के बात करूं, उसको बोलूं कि भाई 5 मिनट और रुक जा, देख ले और कितनी सारी चीजें हैं, या फिर उसको वापस लाने के लिए हम कैसे नज पैदा कर सकते हैं। ये सिंपल सी नज टेक्निक आपका रिटेंशन टाइम 3 गुना बढ़ा सकती है, क्योंकि आपने उसका अटेंशन स्पैन पे फोकस किया है। यहाँ देखिए एक और एग्जांपल है जहाँ पे हमने क्विक राइड करके सर्विस प्रोवाइडर है, उन्होंने नया फीचर लॉन्च किया था कि कस्टमर को कैसे बताए कि अगर कोई राइड कंफर्म करनी है तो उसको एक अलर्ट आए। सो ये स्पॉट थ्योरी यूज करके हमने उनको ले आए थे कि वी कुड गिव देम द राइट नजेस कि ये देखिए आपकी नई सुविधा यहाँ पैदा हुई है, आप यहाँ जाके ऐसे काम कर सकते हैं। ये आपने शायद गूगल पे भी देखा होगा और काफी जगह देखा होगा। ये सेम टेक्निक, चाहे वो नज हो, चाहे वो वॉक थ्रू हो, कॉन्टेक्चुअल वॉक थ्रू हो, हम उनको दिखा सकते हैं। हमारे पास एक सिंपल एग्जांपल, मैं आपको एक छोटा सा वीडियो दिखाऊंगा जिससे आपको एक आइडिया मिलेगा कि अगर आप एम कॉमर्स में हैं या फिर आप ये सेम चीज वेबसाइट पे भी करना चाहते हैं तो आप अपने न्यू फीचर्स के बारे में कैसे लोगों को इत्तला कर सकते हैं। Anubhav, I hope I'm doing good time.
Yeah, you're actually pressing a little bit on time. So if you could pick up the pace.
Yeah, I'm done. This is the last slide that I have. This is एक last चीज मैं आपसे कहना चाहूंगा कि अगर आप आज की तारीख में अपना बिजनेस बना रहे हैं या बिजनेस बढ़ाने चाहते हैं और या फिर एक मैच्योर्ड स्टेट में है तो एक यूनिफाइड व्यू, कस्टमर का यूनिफाइड व्यू देखना बहुत जरूरी है। मैच्योर्ड कस्टमर की ये टॉप 5 चैलेंजेस है। मैंने सोचा कि आपके लिए अच्छी जानकारी होगी कि हम डेटा कैसे कलेक्ट करें, अलग अलग सिस्टम्स पैदा करते हैं। आज आप एक सिंपल सिस्टम से शुरू करेंगे, फिर आप CRM सिस्टम लाएंगे, फिर आपका कॉल सेंटर सिस्टम आएगा, फिर आपका पेमेंट प्लेटफॉर्म आएगा। हर चीज को एक जगह कैसे ले आए, कस्टमर का एक सिंगल व्यू कैसे पैदा करें और फिर आगे चल के उसको इस्तेमाल करके आप कैसे उसके सेगमेंटेड व्यू बना सकते हैं। और ऑफलाइन और ऑनलाइन, अगर आप आज की तारीख में D2C हैं तो आपके कस्टमर का ऑफलाइन बिहेवियर और ऑनलाइन बिहेवियर काफी अलग होगा। उसको एकत्र लाके आप कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं, ये आपके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होगा।
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. I'm pretty sure the last Wali slide was very important for people. So moving on to Kumarji. Kumar, first of all, the background you have in the back, that's awesome. And we'd love to begin with your insight, VT.
Okay. Good afternoon, all. So thank you for inviting me. So I would like to start my short speech with a video about retail solutions reimagined. So this gives an idea of what GoFrugal does, and then I will go ahead with the presentation.
Okay, Google. Talk to Go Frugal.
That's me. How can I help?
What's my sales for the day?
Your sales for the day is 4,25,424 rupees.
By the way, can you ask the AI to raise purchase orders for today?
The AI has prepared 10 purchase orders from 4 suppliers to stock right for the upcoming festive season.
So just give me a minute and I'll get started.
Kumar, please project your screen.
Yeah. So I'll just talk about how Go Frugal has reimagined the retail and other trading businesses can be done by using by digitally transforming those businesses. So I'll talk about it with simple 3 or 4 use cases which are very relevant to retail. So the first one is retailers spend a lot of time. So any trading businessman spends a lot of time in purchasing, and when they do that, they have to analyze their sales data. They have to understand the context of the season, and a lot of manual effort and intelligence goes into ordering. And what Go Frugal has done is build a tool called the AI. Where it is used in there are close to hundreds of stores that are using it now. And the Daily Needs is one of the customers who has implemented it about 3 years back. So if you look at the benefits he got in the first 6 months, he was able to reduce the total inventory investment by 25%. So if he had 2 crores worth of inventory to start with, it was, he was able to take away about 50% of the investment, from the business. And the second thing is, sorry, I'm getting this poll and it is distracting me. Can you take it off? Yeah, thank you. So there were a lot of wastages, especially in perishable industry, and there was 50% reduction in the wastage, and there is 80% reduction in the employees in the purchasing team. So he was managing his 4 stores and a warehouse with a 5-member purchase team, and after deploying the AI, he was able to manage all the purchases with just 1 employee. So that is the kind of automation possible by deploying artificial intelligence and machine learning based predictive analytics in automating the purchases. So similarly, Go Frugal had built, another application, which is a consumer app. So how can consumers order using the app? So if you see, most of the neighborhood stores had consumers, calling the store to order. They place their orders or sending their orders through WhatsApp. When they do that, the retailer have to key in those orders in the system, and some products may not be available, and there will be issues with availability. There will be issues with packaging, right package being available, right variant being available, and things like that. When the retailers gave this mobile app to consumers to order, I have an example of this Jai Jalram Traders, whose number of orders increased by 20%. They were able to acquire 500 additional customers in the first month of usage, and they were able to increase the average order value by 40%, because this is basically, when you give a app and give the power to the consumer to order, it is basically like a consumer walk into your store and order. They see more products, they touch and feel more products, and they end up buying more products. Same way, when you give the app, consumers actually end up buying more than what they would if they have to, from their memory order products. And there was also 50% reduction in the time spent by the salesperson to process the order. So overall, the quality of service increased, because the consumer will know whether the product they are ordering is available or not at the time of placing the order itself. And the second thing is, the store will ship the right order to the customer. There will be no returns, and there will be no, friction in the customer experience. And the third use case is, when you take these, e-commerce or delivery operators, right? Sometimes volume is an issue, right? In fact, the process maturity and the process accuracy, process efficiency, everything gets measured as there are volumes. So we have done an e-commerce integration with one of the largest, order management platforms in India, and they do like 1.5 lakh, 150,000, products that they invert every day, and they deliver to their consumers within 25 minutes, whatever order they get. They process about 30,000 orders per day, with 75 orders during their peak hours, and it has, by doing the complete digitally transformed automation, they were able to reduce 47% of the time in processing the order. So that is why they were able to honor that 25-minute delivery commitment. So this is in terms of e-commerce operation, where we do the warehouse management and the store automation. This is the kind of efficiency we can deliver to customers. And there is also, when orders come in, the stock has to be picked, packed, and shipped to the customer. So if you look at this, when people take a manual pick slip, in a paper and go and pick the stock, there are a lot of errors possible. Right? So we have a mobile app called GoSure, which has a stock picking aided by a mobile app. So when people use that, right, the stock picking time reduces to the 1/3. So the time to pick a product comes down from 60 seconds to 20 seconds. And the time to process an order, comes down from 15 minutes to 5 minutes. That is also reduced by 1/3. And the number of people who are engaged to pick an order, somebody will, print the pick list, call the person who has to pick, give it to them. That person will go around the store and pick, and somebody else have to invoice that and things like that. So it changes multiple hands when you do a manual picking. Whereas when you do a mobile app based, completely digital process to pick, as soon as the order is received, the system automatically assigns the order to one of the free picking person. So that person will pick the order, and as soon as the picking is over, on a click of a button, the invoicing for the picking is also done. So that means that the entire order processing, picking, and invoicing is done by one person, and the picking accuracy improves to 100%. So when manually picked, it's highly prone to errors, and if you want to avoid errors, you have to involve additional people to do the checking and things like that. So the accuracy is improved greatly, and because of all these factors, the number of orders processed per employee per hour has increased from 4 orders per hour to 12 orders per hour. So these are significant productivity benefits, achieved by our customer Dalman Smart. And finally, delivery is a big challenge. I think there are a lot of, you spoke about delivery across the country. The kind of thing, we solve for is, neighborhood retailers doing delivery in their neighborhood. How quickly they can do. Can they deliver in 15 minutes? Can they deliver in 20 minutes? Because the speed of delivery is a USP that they can offer to their customers, and how fast can they deliver. So here, we have a customer who used to do about 4,700 deliveries in a month, when he was managing the delivery process, both the back end and front end of the process, with notebooks and papers and printouts and things like that. When they started using our GoDeliver platform to manage the delivery, right, where delivery is automatically assigned to people who are available, and the time at which the delivery is assigned, the time they picked up, time at which they actually went to the customer home to deliver, and as per Google Map, how much time it would have taken and what time they took. All those kind of reporting is available so that the delivery can be very efficiently managed. By using this solution in the third month, the retailer is able to increase the average number of delivery per delivery person by 41%. So the total delivery increased from 4,700 to 7,100. Per delivery person, they were able to deliver 41% increased orders. And because customers were so happy with the quality of delivery, the speed of delivery, and things like that, they were able to get 15% increase in the average number of orders per month. And there is a 6% increase in the number of customers per month. So this means, customers preferred, these are all pre-pandemic. So this delivery statistics I am giving you is pre-pandemic, in the first 90 days of customer getting onboarded. So during the pandemic, this has really helped them scale up their delivery and, establish themselves as a large, delivery player in their market. So to sum up, right, GoFrugal basically works towards digitally transforming the retailer. We offer solution where retailers can start with whatever business practices they follow. They can get that automated. The reason I picked up 4 or 5 different customers is because each customer digitally transformed one aspect of their business. So somebody had only delivery operations completely digital. Another had the stock picking and packing and invoicing sections completely digital. And the third who may have the entire customer ordering process completely digital. So the entire value proposition GoFrugal offers is we understand that most businesses cannot afford a digital transformation officer who will go from the current.
Kumar, I suppose your voice has gone a little mechanical. Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me okay now?
Your voice is breaking up now.
Oh.
But no worries. I suppose we're already on the final slide. So if we could move on with Zaiba and Krishant now.
I'll just finish it in a minute. So we do digital transformation in an agile manner. So people can start with what they are using and transform, one business process at a time digitally. And as they do that, our solutions offer frictionless customer experience with the minimal staff and the least skill, and 100% accurate and reliable solution. So I thank you all for the opportunity. Please get in touch with us and we can show a personalized experience to you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Kumar. Now moving on to Zaiba and Krishant, if you could give your PPTs and then we'll straight away move on to taking the questions directly from the audience.
Anubhav, can you just give me access to share the screen?
You already have the access, Zaiba.
I can't share. You cannot share the screen share.
Kumar, could you stop sharing your screen?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so let me just start presenting my slide. I will be talking on customer experience in general, a topic which is very close to our heart and a very core DNA at iThink Logistics. What is customer experience? So customer experience is the summary of all the interaction a customer has with a company over a period of time. Like जिस तरीके से कोई आपके प्रोडक्ट को ऑनलाइन सर्च करता है, आपकी वेबसाइट को विजिट करता है, आपके प्रोडक्ट को परचेज करता है, एंड सीमलेस जो उनको डिलीवरी एक्सपीरियंस होती है, इन सारे इंटरेक्शन को अगर जब हम एक समरी में क्रिएट करते हैं, दैट्स द कस्टमर एक्सपीरियंस इज कॉल अबाउट. So today's customers are more likely to take informed decisions. And we all know, like, technology has democratized the information and the power has been shifted from the hands of businesses to the hands of customers. So with access to more information, customers are able to easily identify which products we want to buy, kahan se milega, kya price hai. So here, as a customer, as an organization, as a D2C brand, you have to be very, very authenticate with your customer, how they are discovering you, how they are interacting with you, how they are delighted with your services. And to create a delightful and more meaningful relationship with a customer, a company can't just keep, a satisfaction level to their customer. They have to go beyond that and having a more interaction and more meaningful relationship with the customer. I have read one article where Jeff Bezos mentioned, like, 30% in offline world, 30% of the company resources are being utilized in customer experience, and 70% are used on marketing. But on the other hand, in online, 70% of the resources should be utilized in your customer experience, and 30% should move on your customer experience, your marketing. The company who take customer experience seriously, for them, customer satisfaction is only the first step. Now today, customer wants to take informed decisions. Like rather than being sold by an agent or bombarded by different offerings from another brand, they want to take their own decisions. So a very recent report from Bain & Company revealed that 80% of customer executives, they believe they are providing good quality and great customer experience to the customers. But in actual, only 8% of the customer agreed कि हाँ उनको proper customer service मिल रही है. So why it is so difficult to achieve a great customer experience, right? The answer is translating the boardroom vision, जो actually founder का vision है या company का vision है, translating the same into actual action plan at the field. जो team उसको काम कर रही है, वो vision को actual plan में translate करना ही सबसे ज़्यादा difficult है. That's the reason people are not able to achieve a great customer experience. So here, for my fellow teammates and all other participants, I have created 3 steps that will help you to achieve a great customer experience overall. So ये 3 process के लिए, 3 steps के लिए मैं आपको 3 different international companies का example लेकर बताना चाहूंगी. उसके साथ साथ मैं आपको D2C brands के लिए भी कुछ information include करूंगी. So first, purpose. So purpose, for the purpose, the company name that came to my mind was Nike. Nike is not only selling the shoes, but they are also honoring the athlete. So Nike have very clear purpose. They want to move world forward through the power of sports. They are building the community. They are breaking the barriers and changing the world to move forward for the people. So if you have a body, you are an athlete. So here, a great customer experience is derived by a great purpose for the company, of the company. And for the second P, the name of the company or the story I came in my mind was for Disney. Disney tells a story of a little girl जो एक theme park visit कर रही है. Accidentally, she dropped her doll over the fence. वहां पर वो अपनी डॉल को भूल जाती है. So जैसे ही डिज्नी की टीम को वो डॉल मिलती है, they find कि डॉल पूरी मिट्टी में मड में भीगी हुई है. So what they did, डिज्नी की टीम ने वो डॉल को एक नए कपड़े लिए. They gave her bath. In fact, they made a hair doll, उसके बाल बनाए, and plus they took a picture of the doll with another Disney toys. उसको वो डॉल को गर्ल को देने से पहले इन्होंने ये सारा प्रोसीजर किया. तो यहाँ पर इन दिस करंट सिनेरियो, डिज्नी टीम डिडंट हैड एनी स्क्रिप्ट. उनके पास कुछ स्क्रिप्ट नहीं था. इनफैक्ट वो उनके मैनेजर के पास भी नहीं गए कि इस सिनेरियो में हमें क्या करना है. दे डिड दिस एक्स्ट्रा एक्टिविटी, एक्स्ट्रा थिंग, जस्ट बिकॉज to going extra mile in Disney comes naturally because of their culture, because of the team, because of the people they have in the organization. And for the third P, I will be talking about on Apple. Apple ka design process, we all know. Apple design process is highly world class, and it may be so expensive, but then too, with the process, they are able to deliver world-class customer experience. Apple take a process of agility. The process is agile, where in fact the design process is also agile. First, they design the product, then they build it, test it, and again, if they find any flaw in that design, they iterate the design again, and the same process takes place. So this entire process of designing and redesigning takes around 4 to 6 weeks of time. Then too, Apple is able to deliver a world-class product and world-class experience to the customer. So now here, for a D2C brand, let me give an example for any sustainable brand. अगर किसी brand का ये purpose है, they want to deliver sustainable product to their customer. तो यहाँ पर उन्होंने अपना ब्रांड के लिए एक पर्पस डिफाइन कर लिया. पर्पस हैज टू बी सेट इनिशियली. देन वहां उसके बाद उनको एक टीम अलाइन करनी होगी. Founders, along with the founders, who all team will be involved in this thing. Starting from manufacturing, having a designing concept, taking the design into consideration, plus processing the order, selecting the logistic partner, etc. And the third step would be your process. Your process has to be agile. You can't just keep the process, the same process which you are implementing your 10 orders. You can't keep the same process in your 100 order. You can't keep the same process in your 1000 orders. You have to understand it. You have to make it agile. Then only with these 3 steps, you will be able to achieve a great customer experience overall.
Hi, Zaba. Sorry to chip in. So we are running out of time. I believe in the interest of time, let's try to squeeze PPT a bit.
Yes.
Zaiba, we have a lot of questions coming in for you. So if you could just
for the entire session to wrap up.
Just 2 minutes. I'll done. So here there will be a numerous number of benefits of great customer experience, but I have listed few of them. It will help you to increase your conversion ratio because customers are highly preferring your brand. You'll be getting a customer loyalty overall, reduction in your marketing cost, and there will be many brand advocate of yours. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Zaiba. What? A small request, Krishant. I believe we need to wrap this up fast because we have got 9 minutes to complete, and then maybe we can take 1 or 2 questions.
Okay, sure. So the entire session will at 2:30, right? We have 20 more minutes.
No, our next session will start at 2:20. We have a brand session coming up next.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll try my best to wrap it up. Great. So while choosing solutions for e-commerce business, support solutions come last on, and sometimes it also gets missed out of the list completely, right? And we just heard from Zaiba, who stressed on customer delight and importance of CX. Look at the stats over here. Poor customer experience. According to a study, after poor customer experience, 56% of customers will never use a company again. And worst part, 52% will tell their friends and family about the experience. Think about an influencer talking ill of you or commenting on one of these posts, right? People are going to talk about this in social media too. That's going to be extremely detrimental to your brand. Having said that, for customer support, broadly, we'll have to focus on 3 important things now that we have established that customer support is important. You need to offer multi-channel support. Today, customers come from email, chat, or calling. Calling, again, is becoming traditional, right? Today, you get a lot of customers focusing on Messenger, WhatsApp. So you need to definitely focus on offering multi-channel support where you have one platform which can pretty much pull information from every other platforms and then give your support agent one window to reply to customers. Second key important thing is about contextual support, right? Santosh did stress on personalization. It is important that when customers reach out to you, that you have enough information on past purchase. And today you have enough data, right? Netcore platform as well captures a lot of purchase history and data of customers, which is important for a customer agent to have when he's talking to a customer, right? This is greatly going to reduce the first call handling resolution time. And at the same time, it is going to improve your CSAT score because the customer is going to get responses faster and he need not, if at all, if he's going to call the agent second time or third time, he need not repeat the whole story again and again. Third important thing is you need to focus on self-service and automation, right? Self-service, again, today customers are comfortable as long as you have a knowledge-based solution that pretty much articulates all the FAQs and topics in proper format. They're happy with self-service. And based on the level or the, just like what Anubhav quoted at the beginning, right? If you're going to grow your business based on what stage you are in, you can definitely go for bots, chat bots today, where you can plug them into your live chat. Queries around shipping, around return, or any of these regular support queries can be automated by bots, right? So bots can pretty much save a lot of time for you, thereby leaving your agents with handling complex problems and have more time to solve for best of the issues. In the interest of time, I'm going to skip these two. Just 10 seconds on this slide, right? While we talk about bringing in all the solutions in one window, Freshdesk today, say, assume you have a store, you're selling in Shopify, you're selling on Amazon or multiple platforms. I'm pretty sure you're going to use multiple of these tools, right? Say maybe for payment, Razorpay and all. For a customer support query, the query can be around any of these touch points, right? So having one window which can stitch all these information from different platforms is absolutely necessary. With Freshdesk today, we provide direct integrations with most of these platforms. Again, right from GoFrugal, I think Logistics, all these guys also provide open APIs. So you can bring in and stitch all these integrations into Freshdesk as well. The platform has that option too. Well, I'll pick PharmEasy as a customer case study. Again, today we have more than 2,000 customers using Shopify, smaller merchants, but nevertheless, I thought I'll bring in a bigger brand that everybody is aware of, right? With search, with pandemic coming into play, PharmEasy was becoming more and more popular and was extremely difficult for them to handle the volumes of customer tickets. They were using OzoneTel for calling, and they were using one of our competitors for help desk, and then for live chat, they were using Freshchat. Later, they want to opt for WhatsApp, which got integrated with Freshchat. Again, they were using multiple windows, and they were also interested in capturing customer queries around their app, right? Because people place orders in app, there'll be customer support queries around their app too. So Android, iOS, and Play Store app related queries as well. So it was extremely difficult for them because they were having different sections of agents handling different things. And with Freshdesk, what they were able to achieve is bring everything in one window, right? So that all the agents have complete context. They started to make use of agents rather than having them specialize in one particular channel. And guess what? They were able to decrease support cost per order by 50%. Resolution time reduced by almost 75%. This is going to greatly increase your CSAT. And self-service ticket deflections, almost 45% of their tickets were able to be self-deflected. Well, I'll conclude with this in the interest of time. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me. This is my email ID. Thank you so much.
So Krishant, there's a question like coming in for you and Zaiba. The audience is asking that what shifts in digital communication have you observed in or during the post-pandemic?
Zaiba, would you like to go first?
Sorry, no, can you just repeat?
So Zaiba, what shifts in digital communication have you observed during or post-pandemic? This question is also open to Santosh also.
So in terms of communication part, that plays a very important role for your overall customer journey and customer experience. We have adopted certain medias like AI calling assistants for getting certain information from the customers, and plus we have adopted WhatsApp as one of the core communication channel with the buyer and consumer part as well.
Definitely. Santosh, if you would like to add on to that.
Yeah, if you look at it from the content perspective, the biggest change is that you will experience more empathy in the emails that have gone out. I mean, people, most marketers, the way they're planning their communication is moving from transactional to engagement. They want to be more conversant with the customer and be more engaged. The second change is that I think, like she said, I think WhatsApp has also played as a content channel, a strong experience platform, especially if you look at the industries like the insurance. The bridge that WhatsApp has been able to create between the consumer and the agent for the brand has been humongous. But overall from the experience perspective, I think it'll be moving from transactional to more engagement and empathy and contextual. So if you look at the travel and hospitality, I know we cannot travel much, but then the most marketers want to stay connected with their consumers. And therefore they're bringing in more destination specific, dream oriented content communication. So yeah, you can keep adding to it.
Yeah. And Krishant, so I've been into the e-commerce space myself as well, and this was one of my core questions also, and that's also coming from the audience. Anjali is from the audience is asking this, that she runs an e-commerce company which is less than 20 people. And do you think it's investing in employee experience right now will help in improving the customer experience? And if yes, then where should she start from?
Most definitely, right? Even with your previous question, where the volumes of tickets and volumes of queries have increased, people are staying with their phones, work from home. So it's like 24/7, right? Whenever they're free, they're going to reach out to a business. So it's utmost important that you provide the right set of tools so that the employees are having the right kind of experience, right set of tools. If not, they're going to toggle between multiple windows. There are going to be more errors. So it is going to be difficult, right, from customers end as well as from employees end. So it's best that you provide the best of the tools for employees. Thereby, they can handle customer queries or anything that the customer needs in a better way.
And Anubhav, it says like take care of your staff. They will definitely take care of your customers.
For sure, that is so true. Adding on to that, we've been seeing a lot of transitioning happening in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Myself, and I very much vibe with that because I'm speaking right now from a tier 2 city. So having said that, the question is directed towards Kumar from GoFrugal. That how are e-commerce sellers and retailers in tier 2 and tier 3 cities have grown adapting to the digital transformation that COVID has seen?
Yeah, I think, many of the digital transformation solutions are more relevant in tier 2 and tier 3 today because, of two reasons. One is, in delivery kind of things, the distances are higher. And with increasing fuel prices, right, if you have to go, higher distance, it costs more. So how do people plan their routes and how do people manage? So there is a strong, backend for delivery, and there is a higher efficiency required in delivery as far as tier 2, tier 3 is concerned. So that also means for that plan to work, you need to make sure you can, batch the orders that are coming in and service them together. So that also requires your backend to be a lot more efficient and a lot more frictionless. So if you see the slides I have presented, the KSM is in a tier 2 town, Dolmens is in a tier 3 town, the Jairam Traders is in a tier 2 town. So every customer, we have seen that the digital transformation solution adoption is higher in tier 2 and tier 3 town because in the cities, maybe people are more complacent or not taking action immediately because the availability is there, the urgency is not there. So it's more relevant in tier 2, tier 3 now.
That is very true. That is very true. And the entire digitization has been helped by, I'll say, by the logistics part of the supply chain. And I personally believe that logistics have played a important part in it. So we have a couple of new people in the audience as well who are still learning the ropes of e-commerce, and they've been asking a lot, directing the question directly to Zaiba. So I have a question from Vikas, who is asking that how does logistics do more than just helping to deliver the product and improve the customer experience? So Zaiba, if you could take the words for it.
Yes, sure. So most of the D2C brands think logistics is a task of a third-party company which has to be managed by them. But definitely it has to be a very integral part of your entire D2C journey. It starts from selecting a best logistic partner and plus communicating the same to the customer related to your order status, where it has been reached, whether it is today it is out for delivery or not, when they will be receiving the product, and if there is any delay from the logistic end or any of the product delay, dispatch delay, customer has to get notified from the brand. Which I think, apart from delivery, communication plays a very important role for the end consumer to know about their shipment status and their journey.
So what we're speaking is a more personalized note towards the channels of engagement, correct?
Right. Personalization and generalization information as well.
Very true. Very true. So Santosh, with that point in mind, I also had another question. That is, how can we benchmark the engagement across the channels, and how can we experiment with the channels of engagement?
I think when you are a startup, if you're a D2C brand or you're an experienced brand, it's difficult attempts to gauge which channel is really giving you bang for the buck, right? Is email performing better for you? Is SMS doing better for you? Does WhatsApp work better for you? Each brand has its own DNA, and that's where you need to drive experiments in terms of the right frequency, reaching out to your prospect or the customer. Does a weekend twice blast work better for them? Does a weekday, is the customer performing better for you? What is the right time for them to reach out to you? I think there's one of the features that we developed at an AI level is the send time optimization. Basically, the performance of your customers. Can my AI tell you that what is the right time to send an email or an SMS? Or what is the preferred channel for that customer? You've been reaching out to them using multiple things, but they respond to you only on a specific type of channel. So shouldn't you be optimizing your spend and reaching out to that set of customer only on that channel? Is another area that we're looking at. So yeah, it becomes very crucial from brand to decipher that your profile of your customers, what are they more responsive to? If you have a base coming in from a tier 2, 3 city, then maybe the OBD works much better for you, right? You may not go high on email. You may not go high on WhatsApp. You may go high on, missed call. You may go on IVR to generate the lead and therefore perform a lead scoring exercise there as well. So it becomes a very important metric overall.
That is very true. That is very true. And with a lot of people who start off their e-commerce journey from selling directly on social media or via website or even WhatsApp. WhatsApp is an amazing tool for selling up. So another problem that people face, and this question is going to be directed towards Krishant, that a lot of people receive their orders from multiple channels like social media, websites or WhatsApp even, and it's all over the place and obviously difficult to track and respond. So how can we solve this, Krishant?
I think if, at least in India, it's predominantly WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook Messenger, right? Facebook business page in itself integrates Instagram and Facebook Messenger details in one place. And Facebook Messenger business page actually gives you an option to pull this data and integrate with the CRM, right? So for medium or smaller brands, that will be the best recommendation, right? Make best use of that. Today, WhatsApp store is not integrated, but Facebook has plans in the future where they'll bring WhatsApp as well into that platform so that you have that one window which can integrate with any of your systems. But if you're talking about customer support or customer interactions, you have a lot of CRM tools. Freshworks, again, has its own tool where the live chat can be connected with Instagram or Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, and you can have one window to respond to your customers. Hope that answers the question.
That does answer the question. And finally, we have a question from Alpana herself, this is something that's a really hot question right now. And I'm going to redirect it to every of our partner, domain expert present here, as to how e-commerce new regulation and initiatives will shape e-commerce in the retail ecosystem. I'll direct it to everyone: Santosh, Kumar, Krishant, Zaiba. Santosh, you're on mute actually.
Could you rephrase the question, please?
The question is, and this is going to be the last question because we're a little breaking up on time. So how e-commerce new regulations and initiatives will shape e-commerce in the retail ecosystem? So taking the question first from Kumar.
Yeah, sure. So in my view, this is actually going to give a very good level playing field to the small local independent retailers and the global brands, national brands, e-commerce companies, everybody. So it's going to level the playing field. And the second thing is there is an initiative by the government called the Open Network for Digital Commerce, where recently the government has appointed Mr. Nandan Nilekani also to the panel. So what is going to happen is this Open Network for Digital Commerce is a marketplace platform that that will be offered by Government of India. It will be like the Mandi, a digital Mandi kind of a platform. So that means the buyers, the sellers, the logistics service providers, and all the other ecosystem partners or service providers can integrate with this Open Network for Digital Commerce, and and have a win-win relationship. So it won't be like a marketplace can sort of use their brand power to bulldoze off the small vendor and things like that. So it will be like the UPI revolution. What UPI has done to payment, a similar thing can be happening for e-commerce and marketplaces, if ONDC actually comes alive and it starts working as a good platform.
Thank you, Kumar.
Thank you.
Anubhav, we have surpassed the time by 2 minutes. I guess it's time to
that's
wrap
correct.
this.
I hope, Alpana, your question got answered. So thanks guys, Santosh, Kumar, Zaiba, Krishant for your valuable insights. I'm very sure that audience gained a lot of knowledge from this. Having said that, now moving on to the omnichannel part of our session of our event, we'll be beginning on taking first directly the insights from the person who has been in the trenches for quite some time. We have for the omnichannel piece, for the brand session, we have House of Anita Dongre here. So I'd like to welcome my very dear colleague Shubhradeep.
Hi, Anubhav.
Hi, Shubhradeep. So Shubhradeep is our enterprise solution expert at Unicommerce. And Shubhradeep, on to you. Please introduce our speaker here from House of Anita Dongre here. And,
Sure. So hi everyone, Shubhradeep this side. So I am here to introduce the brand House of Anita Dongre. I'll just give a small introduction about the brand first. So House of Anita Dongre is one of the leading houses for fashion and lifestyle products and own retail brands like A&D and Global Desi. A&D is the first Indian brand to offer global sellouts to the modern Indian woman. The brand offers contemporary fashion that marries comfort, quality, and style. Global Desi is the go-to brand for experimental and vivacious Indian women. With its Indo-Western ensemble and vibrant look, the brand has been embraced for its festive and casual collections. Despite the ongoing pandemic, both brands have expanded their offerings into girls' collection and fragrances and have received phenomenal responses for the same. Both brands enjoy extensive online and offline presence, both in India and internationally. The offline network in India spans across 1,000+ points of sales in over 114 cities, including 200+ exclusive brand stores and almost 800 multi-brand large format stores. So I'd like to call upon Ms. Ritu Agarwal, Business Head for E-Commerce, House of Anita Dongre, who will be talking about omnichannel in a post-pandemic world, present reality or futuristic idea. Over to you, madam.
Hi, Shubhradeep. Thank you so much for the introduction and thank you for having us here. I would just like to, brief upon first the subject that you shared for today's discussion, which is omnichannel and in the post-pandemic world. So if we break down the word, if we break it down into two parts, first speaking about omnichannel. Omnichannel is basically making goods available on multiple channels, right? And we all are hearing today about the Zomato experience in the Zomato IPO, where Zomato was trying to make the restaurant business omnichannel, where you just did not have to visit the restaurant to, savor the food. You could order it to your home and get it delivered to your home from the restaurants, because not all restaurants had delivery capabilities. And today, when we with the whole growth in the e-commerce business, right? From I have been in the e-commerce space since 2010, and from then to now, we've seen the whole growth in the e-commerce space. Omnichannel was something which was inevitable, which would happen, because it is very important that we centralize the inventory and make that available, make the entire pool of inventory available to all customers, so that it can work on the FIFO model, such that every brand and every organization can capitalize on the entire customer pool and not have to lock in inventory by slicing and dicing it for across channels. So I think that has really helped. And when we speak about the post-pandemic period, which we are in right now, or rather, it's still, there's fear and there is uncertainty about the wave 3, and there is this, mall related restrictions and social mingling restrictions and all those things still there. I think the whole omni-channel capability which we had helped us immensely because people, one is because we weren't even aware of what stores would be opened, what would not be opened. So there's a lot of stores there's a lot of stock which is locked in the stores, and to make that available to the users, it's not just what is sitting in the warehouse. To make that entire stock available to the users, it's important that we had that omni-channel capability. Second, even from the customer's perspective, there was that fear among a certain set of customers to visit the store, not sure whether it would be open. I think in Maharashtra, the malls are still not open in Nagpur and Mumbai region. The timings around it, one of the big incentives was to try the stores and the garments in the store, which is now restricted. So with all those things, the omni capabilities on the online world has really helped a lot of businesses to grow and expand. And also that is from like the business perspective. The next perspective, if we look at it from the customer's perspective, a lot of customers, when we break it down, have adopted to the digital journey. So when we speak about it, somebody like, women in their 40s, 50s who were more inclined towards, in-store purchases, कि पहले garment try करना है, देखते material quality कैसी है and all those things. Because we were compelled to stay in our houses and stores were not open, there's been a high rate of adoption. Like somebody like my mother was not very keen on online purchases, but now she just would be like, yeah, like let's order online and get things like these online, whether it's fashion related, whether it is household related, even groceries, even the regular, day-to-day items. So there has been a high adoption among the entire age spectrum or demographics of the users. And second, also because of the tier 2, tier 3 cities, like I know the intense penetration that Jio has had in the tier 2, tier 3 cities in terms of the network, in terms of a lot of people who have gone back to their home states to work, because a lot of people had been working from home. So because of that, the rate of sales of online, of e-commerce in the tier 2, tier 3 cities has seen a sharp spike. And that initial hesitation or that initial inertia, it has helped to break that. And that is where that entire omni capability has helped us to grow our businesses in these, evolving world of online sales.
Got it, madam. It was great to hear your insights on the same. So, madam, I had a few questions that I wanted to ask you. So,
Sure.
the first question that I would like to ask you is that, in your opinion, what are the 3 most important things that help you to align your sales across all customer touchpoints?
Yeah, so I think, when we speak about all customer touchpoints, I would like to break that into 3 major touchpoints. One is, of course, our stores, which would be both the exclusive brand stores as well as, the ones which we have in the shop-in-shops, whether it is in Lifestyle, Shoppers Stop. Second is on the marketplaces like Myntra and, Amazon, Flipkart, and Nykaa, Tata Click, all of them. And third is on our own in-house websites, the dedicated websites. Now, across all the channels, especially speaking about the post-pandemic, there had been restrictions going on and off. And therefore, there was a lot of, I know Myntra had stopped orders for a lot of non-essential services and for a long period, right? Almost a couple of months, right? And therefore, it was very important for us that we unify the inventory, and to whatever is the limited channel or open channel at that point of time, we let the customer, we are there to service the customer's needs. And I think what really helped us was, as an organization, we've always been a customer-first organization. So try to see things from the customer's perspective, be transparent with the customer with regard to the limitations that we are facing, or because I think everybody understands what the scenario is like, and build capabilities around it to be able to overcome that. So what really worked for us was first immense support from the from the management, to mention that we've always been tech driven. So to ensure that we build those capabilities, because to make any an omni capability or such an offering to the customer, there is a lot of synchronization which is required, and that synchronization needs to be among people, among processes, and among platforms. So if we break that down, the teams need to be aligned, the teams need to be incentivized. So there needs to be a very strong model for them to not look at it as additional work that they have to do, but to be incentivized, understanding that yes, doing this will help them also. Of course, empower them by setting up the platforms for it, where they can conveniently view what is the orders that are flowing into their stores, service those orders. And third is so that we can maintain the discipline, because it is spanning across departments and across geographically dispersed teams, is to have strong processes. So I think those people, processes, and the platform is what was the three key things that we worked on, which really helped us to build those omni capabilities. And we started with these omni capabilities as recently as late last year. Like I would say that would be in about Q3, Q4. And we've had our teething periods and our learning cycles, but building from it and keeping that as the core fundamentals that we want to improve on has really helped us to leverage and be able to grow on this. And today it is, getting the first store online or getting the first 5 stores online may have taken us weeks, but now it is a matter of days where we can do it, because we build those 3 things, and streamline those processes and the capabilities around it. So yeah.
Got it, madam. Thank you for your answer. So I had another question. Can you please mention 3 things that have worked for your brand to make the omni-channel a reality? So would it be the 3 things that you mentioned just now, or would you like to add on anything over that?
See, essentially it all boils down to the same thing, where we say that it's people, processes, and platforms. But just to elaborate a little bit more on that is also that we used to when I say people, we don't just refer to the team who is like the HOAD team, but also strongly looking at all our partners. So, whether it's the logistic partners, whether it's your partners who supply the packaging material, because now it's not one single warehouse where you need to have the packaging material. It has to be there in your all the stores that you wanted. So I'll give you a brief example on this. We launched fragrances very recently, and prior to that, of course, most of the lines which we were selling was apparel. So it's really not breakable, not fragile. It doesn't matter if it is, if it twists or somebody throws it or it falls down by mistake. But fragrances definitely need to be handled a little more with care, because they are glass bottles, perfumes, body mists, and all those things. So making those processes very clear, and working with your partners, whether it is your logistic partners, whether it is the packaging partners, whether it is the store teams, of course the IT partners, because in the online world, I would strongly say IT is the backbone. If the platform goes down, then no amount of marketing, no amount of no amount of operation smoothness would help, because the IT platform is the backbone, and it's the backbone not just to the end customer, but it's also the backbone to the backend teams to be able to operate. If they do not see the orders, if they don't flow in time, then obviously there will be glitches everywhere. So I think that is what really helped us, is building these things and working collaboratively with our partners as a single mission.
Understood. So one last question I would like to ask you is that can you suggest some omni-channel strategies that you would like to advise to budding entrepreneurs who are planning to start their omnipresent brand? Anything you would like to suggest to them?
Definitely. So, having been an entrepreneur myself and having had launched like almost a decade back my own website, I know that entrepreneurs definitely work on limited capital, right? They want to optimize whatever stock or inventory or offering they have to the maximum customer pool. So, omnichannel definitely makes sense there, and they should do it. And the best way to do it is, like I said, align your people, processes, and your like people, processes, and platforms. But I think as an entrepreneur, it is also important that they work very quickly in the MVP model. So where you make the minimum viable product. Don't over invest in your platform, because you will have to be nimble. You will have to learn. Like we learned a lot of things even as an established organizations where we were going wrong, where we needed to modify processes, where we needed to enhance our platforms for capabilities. So be nimble about it. Learn fast, fail early, evolve rapidly, and move on. So I think that is one of the things. And third is try to make your Omni platform, which again is something which would come at a gradually, because you build capabilities one by one rather than trying to do the big bang. Is always try to make it such that the customers are not incentivized on one platform over the other. So when we speak about that, it is not just about making the products available, because that is one part of it, of making the products available. But then there are other value added things which, organizations or brands offer. So for example, if I put a very simple example saying the discount coupons or discount offers which I have, try to keep it as similar across channels as possible, so that all teams are also equally incentivized. And as a customer also, I do not tend to lean towards one channel over the other. So if the online has certain coupons or certain offerings, make the same thing available to the offline customer. Similarly, if suppose you're offering some loyalty points, reward points for purchases, or if you're selling gift cards to the customers. So building that Omni capability where as a customer as well as an somebody who's trying to drive channel, because within every organization, the sales split teams, there are multiple sales teams. So each one needs to be equally motivated and equally incentivized to drive it, because it's something like the weakest chair. It has to be a tandem effort by everyone to actually get those results. So I think that is very important. And of course, with Omni coming in, I just feel that this is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more that we can do once as a industry, because it's a very nascent thing right now. If you look at it, like in terms of e-commerce itself is an evolving industry, yet it's just 10 years old, right? But Omni within it, for a lot of brands is far more evolving. Like I think pre-pandemic, if we speak about 2018, 2019, the number of brands which had their own websites would have been easily like grown by 30%, 40% in the last 2 years, because of the pandemic impact. So with this coming in, the more and more Omni capabilities will grow, and then things like being ability to pick up from the store, because I've raised a product. Now the one limitation of e-commerce is, apart from a lot of leading marketplaces, not everybody can do the next day delivery or same day delivery. With Omni, you could have that thing that you can pick up from the store, you can do the exchanges. A lot of brands have started offering the try and buy, so that the return rate, which is a big concern in the online world today, which ranges from, of course, industry to industry, but it's from like say 15 to 20, sometimes even 30%, that would come down. So if we can, start looking at those capabilities and the rapid time to the customer, or reduce the time to the customer, that would definitely be the, the follow-up developments that will happen on the Omni channel.
Most definitely, yes. Most definitely, yes.
Understood. Like, thank you so much, madam. Totally agree to you. Thank you for sharing so much insights regarding omni-channel, which is such a hot topic in the market right now. Thank you so much for sharing so many ideas on this field. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure for having you on the panel today. Thank you so much.